And welcome to today's webinar. Couple quick notes before I start the presentation. This slideshow is being recorded and will be available on the LKCS YouTube channel later on. Just so you know, everyone else besides me will be muted, so I will not be able to hear you if you talk on your end. We will be taking questions throughout the webinar. If you want to send them through the chat, so feel free to type those in and send them as we go. And we'll try to address any of the bigger ones that we think might apply to everyone at the end of the webinar. So my name is Tom Quessy, and I'm the head of digital sales here at LKCS. And today I'm going to be talking about what an exceptional website needs. So before we jump into it, for anyone who may not be familiar with us, I would just like to take a second to go over who we are here at LKCS. LKCS was founded on the core values of providing the best service, high quality, fast turnaround, and fair pricing. And we continue to stand by those values today as we evolve our marketing, digital, print, mail, and statement services to fit the needs of all our customers. We're a full service marketing company, and we've been in business since 1961, and we've worked with predominantly financial institutions that entire time. We provide a full range of products and services, but today we're going to be focusing on website management. So if there's anything else that you're wanting to learn more about, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. So let's dive into today's topic. Your users are expecting an exceptional user experience. You need to be able to offer everything that you can do in a branch online. And if you can't do that, you're losing out on opportunities. Besides just having everything online, this also means that you should be able to manage your digital presence. You should have no trouble making updates and changes on your own to anything that you have out there on the web. In this webinar, I'll be going over the different tools that we offer for managing your website and giving your users the best possible experience. This includes Sitefinity, our recommended CMS, the LKCS tool suite, a custom set of tools that we've created to make potentially difficult edits easier, our marketing automation services, our form builder, a tool for creating secure online forms, our digital lending services offered through our partnership with Lenderful, the financial calculator options that we offer, and our tool for online chat and maybe managing any chatbots that you might be using. So first, let's talk about site management. Keeping your website up to date is something that you should be able to do on your own. This is necessary for keeping your content fresh and fixing any issues that might come to light as standards and requirements change over time. A lot of things can happen very quickly, so it's very important for you to have the ability to make changes to your website exactly when you need them. If you have to wait days or longer to get simple content changes made, then this could turn into a bigger issue going forward. Having a reliable CMS that you can manage yourself is a game changer. And I'll be referencing CMSs a lot in the presentation, so just to be clear, when I say that, I'm talking about content management systems. When we're starting work on a site, you need to spend time thinking about more than just looks. It's important to plan how you're going to be making changes in the future. To extend the longevity of your website, you need to give it the ability to grow and change over time. And that should ideally include you being able to manage the majority of those changes when you want to. So that all begins with your content management system. This is the main way that you'll be making updates and edits to your site. It's the foundation that the site is built on, and it's very important to your experience managing it once it's launched. Your content management system needs to be able to help you change headers and body text, rearrange the navigation structure of the site, add and replace any images or media, adjust layouts, and utilize anything online like video, images, PDFs. So our recommendation for your website's content management system is Sitefinity. This is the CMS that we build the majority of our sites in, and it has features needed that tend to stand above the rest in terms of like usability, security, and administration. We get asked a lot about exactly what you can do in the system. So I'm going to walk you through what some of the normal edits look like and show you just how easy it is to make changes on your website. Here we are in Sitefinity viewing the pages for this particular website. And from here, we could click on any of these to edit the pages. And we can get information at a glance about when pages were created and by who. We can also see what pages are currently published and live on the site. You can see that with the green check marks next to any of those. Or we can see if pages are saved as a draft, meaning that the page has a newer version that's visible to us on the back end, but not currently live on the website. We can very easily reorder these pages in any way that we like, which can then be immediately saved and published to change the navigation of our live site. This is as simple as dragging and dropping pages into new positions or into these groups if we wish to nest them beneath another page. And we're also able to create new pages from here and drop them into our navigation. So as you can see, when it comes to managing the pages and layout of your website, the CMS excels at keeping things organized and very straightforward. Let's take a look at what making edits to a specific page looks like. So on the screen now is an example of what you see in Sitefinity when you're making edits to a page. As you can see, it uses a WYSIWYG editor. And for anyone not familiar with that term, it just kind of means what you see is what you get. In this editor, you'll notice that the elements on the page get separated into these different widgets. These widgets are boxes that can be dragged onto the page and then edited independently of each other. After dropping the widgets onto the page, we can easily add elements like call to action buttons, like we see at the top, images, like the one visible on the right-hand side of the page, specifically styled sections or text blocks, which tend to be the bulk of what you'll be using and editing across the site. So if I were to hit edit on any of these content block widgets that have been dropped here, we'll be taken into the text editor. Here's an example of what that text editor looks like when you click into a widget. You definitely do not have to be a programmer to make these types of changes. This user-friendly editor works just like any word processor that most of you will be used to. In here, I'm sure you can see all the normal options that you would have in that sort of software across the top toolbar here. Things like bolding, italicizing, creating bullet lists, numbered lists, adjusting alignment, those sorts of things. These are all very easy to accomplish using the familiar buttons that you'll see here. Beyond those simple tools, though, it also has features that will make your life easier as you're managing your entire site. At the top left, you'll see this drop-down. And here we can add in preset text styles when we actually design and build your website. And this makes it so you can simply highlight text and pick from these preset options that we've programmed in to match your brand and to keep everything cohesive throughout your content. This is also really great for website accessibility, as you're able to drop in headings. So here we can see heading 1 and heading 2 as some of our options. And like I described before, they are styled best to match your branding, but they also work as header tags within the code. And these are important for accessibility when a user is navigating the page using a screen reader. When used correctly, they can vastly improve the user experience for anyone navigating your pages. This is something that we often see get flagged as errors when we do our accessibility scans on websites. It's also something that's easy to avoid with a setup like this and with a little bit of education on the topic. After building any of our sites, we offer training on the CMS to go over dropping content, and we try to also help you understand how you can avoid some common accessibility issues like this one here. Besides everything that I already mentioned, it's also very easy to insert links into the text, to create tables, or to embed videos from places like YouTube or Vimeo. Everything that I've discussed here are very easy changes to make within this system. After you complete your edits to the page, you have all of your publishing options located at the top. Here you'll be able to make the decision of how you want to move forward with this page. If everything's ready to go, you could hit that green publish button to immediately push this page live. If you still have some work to do and you want to come back to this, you can also save pages as a draft for later. This is a great way to continue forward if you'd like to send some previews out to other members of your team for review before publishing anything. Lastly, we can also schedule this page for a specific date in the future. This is great if you're looking to have something go live at a very specific time. So with this CMS, you can schedule it down to the minute of when you would like it to go live. We often see this get used for promotional pages where you might want to set up a landing page for a specific offer. This way, you can set up everything ahead of time for this page to go live when the promotion starts, and then even unpublish itself when the promotion is finished. This can also be used for pages that are already live. So you may want to schedule updates to the page ahead of time. This can be great for compliance reasons where you may need very specific information to be updated only at a certain time. And speaking of compliance, here's a feature that many auditors love to see. Each page within the Sitefinity CMS has a revision history of its changes over time. Here we can see any time that this page has had a new draft saved for it or has had changes fully published. We can also see which user created the draft or published the page. If I click on any of these previous versions, it will show me exactly what the page looked like at that time. And this is great if you ever need to look back and review how a page has changed over time. There's also an area available where users can make notes about their changes if you wish to keep track of those details as new content gets published. But also this comes with another great feature. I can actually go back to any of those previous versions of the page and revert back to that version if I should need to. It's kind of like having the ultimate undo button just in case you should need it. Besides just the CMS, I also want to talk about the LKCS tool suite. This is another one of our big site management tools that we offer. It's a subscription service that is constantly being maintained and upgraded as time goes on. It's basically, this is a suite of digital tools that integrate with all of our websites to make your life easier as you're managing it. So it's no secret that we built many of these tools with financial institutions in mind. The tool suite includes our Rates Manager, which is an easy way to manage rates across your whole website. It really helps simplify showing rates tables across many pages, but still only having to actually manage those rates in one place. So even if the rate is presented in different formats on different pages, you only really have to make the change once in this tool, and it's going to be reflected everywhere that it's present on the website. So here's a screenshot of what this tool looks like on the back end. I'm showing one table here, but you could have as many tables as you want within the system. To make changes, all I would need to do is simply click into a cell and type in the new information. With this tool, it's incredibly easy to remove columns, rows, or any entries within it. And when making changes, just like in the CMS that I was showing earlier, you're able to save drafts in here or even schedule rates changes to go live on certain dates. We also have access to a revision history of all the changes that have been made in the Rates Manager over time. So same thing as I said before, it's great for compliance as you'll be able to review the rates history anytime that you should need to. Also included in the tool suite is our homepage announcement tool. So if you have a branch that has to close down suddenly due to weather, or you want to warn people browsing your site of an upcoming holiday that's going to force a change in hours, this announcement tool is a useful way to send out fast updates to anyone browsing your site. This can be amazing for getting out timely messages and can really help to cut down on calls asking about these sorts of events. Here's a screenshot of what this tool looks like on the back end. Messages are created using this friendly text editor, and these messages will slide down from the top of your home page as soon as someone lands on it. They can include links if you need to direct users to another page that has additional information. And like our other tools, this can also be scheduled ahead of time. Also, we can set the color of that bar that the information will be posted on. Right now, you can see I've set it to this light blue color. And here's what that announcement looks like when it's live on the top of a homepage. So depending on how important that message is, I may even want to darken that color or make it clash with the site's main brand colors a little bit more. This would help it stand out more and ensure it's immediately seen. Another tool that I'll be covering is our banner and ads manager. So we also make it easy to manage those large banners that might be on your homepage and smaller advertisements that can be placed across the inside pages of your site. Depending on your site's design, we can create simple ways for you to update these images, call to actions, and more on these featured areas of your homepage. Here, we can see an example of this manager. This site currently has 3 banners live, and within the tool, they can disable or enable more banners from their library below. On each of the banners, they can also get information about how many unique clicks each has gotten so far. And we can also make it so that each banner can have several images uploaded for it. These are set up so that you can swap out different images at different breakpoints for desktop, tablet, and mobile screen sizes. So what this feature does is it lets you have kind of total control on how these images lay out and look on the different devices that your users might be browsing on. This sort of smart, responsive design is one of the many ways that we make sure that your mobile users are also having the best experience possible. And these 3 tools are just 3 that I wanted to highlight from the LKCS tool suite. There's many more available in there. We also have tools for managing things like third-party pop-ups, easy calendar and event listings, career and job postings, managing the sale of any repossessions that you might do, running polls on your site, and more. So please reach out if you're interested in seeing more of these tools in action. We're more than happy to provide full demonstrations. And like I mentioned, everything within the tool suite works seamlessly within the Sitefinity CMS that I showed earlier. You're able to drop our custom tool onto pages as widgets, and that allows you to simply place things like a rates table that connects to the rates manager that I showed. Now I want to touch a little bit on marketing automation. We've covered making edits across the website, but automation can be used in conjunction with your website to identify interests and target specific types of users with quality content. This adds another level of personalization that can lead to better results. So first, what is automation? Automation is the use of software to automate repetitive manual marketing activities. For our purposes here, we're going to focus in on email marketing automation. That's a very common and useful form that can achieve great results. And by leveraging data on your website and through touch points of your email marketing efforts, you can basically categorize your audience. Using these categories, or personas as they're often referred to, automation tracks can be set up to serve them custom content at regular intervals. This can help to grow your audience, strengthen relationships, and encourage that audience to take the next steps. So why use this? Well, the why of using automation is very simple. First and foremost, automation can save you a lot of time. It's not necessarily an easy button where all of your marketing work magically disappears. However, after the setup is done and the automations are in place, it can save your marketing team from the bulk of repetitive work that tends to come with the job. This leaves you more time to focus on the bigger picture items and to refine your marketing strategies. It can improve engagement with the audience. Most of the time, your automation will be paired with personalization. This is using data to not only serve the audience content at the right time, but also making sure that the content is relevant to that specific person. And with the increase in timely quality content, it can have a big impact on your leads and conversions. So we can be tracking interaction with things like email opens and clicks, forwards, web page visits, form and calculator submissions, views on videos, downloads of certain media, social sharing, and also live chat interaction if you're using live chat. All these data points can paint a pretty clear picture of what that user might be looking for. And this lets your automations trigger and strike while the iron is hot. So here we have an example of an automation track for email marketing. Once a contact meets the initial triggering conditions at the top, they'll be taken down this track. In here, we can do things like send email messages to the user, notify employees on our side, create splitting paths depending on their actions during it. And also we can kind of track where they are in that selling process, depending on what this is, what this automation is about. This all funnels back in and lets us know where they fall on that specific topic. Is it something that they're just interested in? Are they actively researching a product? Are they an opportunity that is ready to close? Or have they already made it through the process and made it to the end goal? This kind of information can be crucial and a boon to your team. And using it, we can often refine that whole process that we've been doing throughout the automation to just tweak it as time goes on to kind of get the best results, or see if there's a certain section of that automation where people are, it's a stopping point, maybe they're dropping off. The next item I'm going to talk about is form builders. So this is a tool that's great for creating and editing your own online fillable forms for your website. This would be a separate tool from the CMS, but it can be well worth it if you find yourself constantly needing new forms, or even needing to be like often updating the fillable forms that are on your site. No program experience is required to use this tool. It's very easy to build secure online forms from the ground up, even if they're complex. As far as the benefits of our form builder, it has A/B testing. With that, you can try different variations within a form and track the results, basically asking questions like, if I present half my users with option A and the other half with option B, which version causes more users to finish filling out that form? Over time, you can get valuable information, and just like with those automation tracks, you can tweak your forms to be more effective. We can also track partial submissions. This can be used to capture data from any incompleted forms. This one feature alone can be a game changer that gets overlooked, I think. It's common for someone to start filling out a form only to stop in the middle and abandon it. And that could be due to time constraints or any sort of reason that might come up while filling up a longer form. Even if someone starts a form and doesn't finish, what this can do is collect the data that they did fill in, which can give you a chance to follow up on that lead. They may not have completed the form, but you know that they were interested, and usually at the start of the form, you will probably have collected at least their name and email. And you can use this opportunity to make that next move and help them to complete that process. We can also keep track of field bottlenecks. So we can actually track forms and tell you about some of the pain points that users are running into. You can find the places where users are getting stuck within your form and make corrections to prevent it in the future. For instance, if many of your users quit filling out a form when they hit a very specific field, then this would be a sign to either remove it or make it more clear, but remove it definitely if it isn't necessary. We can set up conditional logic within forms. This gives you the ability to make your forms smarter. You can do things like hide sections of forms until they are needed. So for example, if a user checks off that they aren't going to have a co-borrower towards the start of an application, the form will know to hide all of that co-borrower information. It wouldn't be needed, and it would make the form look unnecessarily long. It has great analytics and tracking, so we can track statistics for the forms and provide information so that you can adapt and improve your tactics. And also, this is great for accessibility. Forms created within our builder are built to be accessible and meet those ADA guidelines. Here we have an example of what the form builder looks like on the back end when you're creating a new form. You do not need to be a programmer to create forms in here. Everything in the column on the left are the widgets that you can drag in. It's very easy to drop your fields into place and then to edit them as needed. You can also make them required, specify how many columns they need to take up, and add descriptions or instructions. We can also separate these forms into pages. This can be useful when you're worried about the user getting scared away by the length of a form. I know personally I've landed on pages with forms that right from the get-go, I can see that the page just scrolls on and on with tons of fields for me to fill out. And sometimes just from seeing that, I might decide, okay, I don't have time for this form and drop it there. Pages can help forms to feel more friendly and surmountable. With this, you can separate the sections of the form and even add user-friendly elements like a progress bar that we can see on the bottom to encourage the user as they move through. You no longer have to use a third-party company to build a form for you with this, or even ask them to make edits for you. Those sometimes can come with pretty steep costs, and they may take days to complete. Instead, you can create these forms for yourself in about 15 minutes and pop in to make changes whenever you might have something within that form that needs to be tweaked. Don't let leads get away. Online forms are something that your users want. If they've taken the time to research everything and then they get to the application on your website and find out that they need to drive to a branch to complete the process, you might lose them right then and there. And applications are usually that last step in the process, so don't put up roadblocks between your users and the finish line. Let them complete as much as possible digitally. Now I want to touch on the importance of having a high-quality online lending platform. The expectation of users nowadays is that everything can be done online, and that applies to the lending process too. So you need to offer avenues for 24/7 access to meet these expectations. Through our partnership with Lenderful, we can give comprehensive online lending experiences, and it's more than just applications. This tool offers mortgage, home equity, unsecured, and auto loan platforms, and it's able to support your loan officers and help them give your borrowers a best-in-class online lending experience. It lets the borrowers do more than just apply. It can assist in learning about that topic or shopping for rates or programs and completing the process in a timely manner. On your end, it can help streamline that process and provide your officers with all the information that they'll be needing. This is a white labeled product. Everything can be customized to your voice, your brand, and your message. So we can customize all of this to reflect your institution. Here we can see a Learning Center page where users can go through and educate themselves on the process, and they can learn about things like credit scores, loan types that you offer, and loan rates. And it also gives them access to different tools like calculators. Lenderful also has a great pre-qualification tool called Pre-Qual Express. The user is able to fill in easy information on their end, which then provides your team with the information to fill them in on what the borrower is looking for. It is also able to collect partial information, just like forms we were talking about before. So if the borrower fails to complete the whole process, you'll still be able to get some valuable leads on the back end. All the forms and tools within this lending platform are very intuitive and inviting, and it's built to kind of give potential borrowers the best experience that they can have through what's potentially a difficult process. Next, I wanted to talk about online financial calculators that we have available. These are a very common request that I see during my website meetings. And these calculators can offer benefits for both the user and your institution. For the users, obviously, it gives them some great tools directly on your website for planning their finances. But for you, it can actually be another powerful lead source for you to leverage. Here we can see an example of one of our calculators. These can be styled to match your brand and can easily be dropped into different sections of a website. We can also add in call to action buttons like you see on the bottom left of this calculator. And when emailing results to themselves, we can also set this up to email you that exact same information. Like I mentioned, this would be a direct lead for a product that you can then act on in any of your other marketing efforts. We have a large library of calculators to choose from when it comes to topics and products. So whatever you're currently looking for, odds are that we have something available to fit that topic. To anyone interested, let us know and we can send you a link to this page with the full library of calculators available. Lastly, out of these online tools, I wanted to talk about our online chat system and chatbot. This system provides another easy way for your audience to reach out to you with questions and to receive assistance as they're browsing your website. So why use something like online chat? Well, one, it can enhance your engagement and reduce costs. With online chat, you're able to have people on the line that can offer one-to-one communications on your website with a more personal touch. This helps to improve customer service, and the staff's not necessarily required to be in the office to respond since this is a web-based tool. This helps you to become a full 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year digital service branch with ticketing systems that can cover your off hours. And you can also cover off hours with chatbots if you wish to go that route as well. Consumers are expecting a seamless support system whenever they're on your website and wherever they are currently, and this helps you to meet that need. So when you pick a message from the queue, our chat system is able to give you some data regarding that visitor. This includes data about the pages that they visited so far on your website and what page they're currently on, and general area where the IP is coming from. You can also get some data about like what type of browser or system they're using if maybe they have more of a IT or error related question. The message system is very easy to use. While the user is typing, you're able to see their message as they're writing it out. And this can help you to prepare a quicker answer or even do some research as they're asking it to see what you might want to respond back. And speaking of which, you can also have queued up messages created. This can be useful for common questions that get asked, like maybe a certain branch's hours or somebody asking about the routing number of your institution. I could set up a preset or canned message beforehand that I can simply click and select and paste into the chat. So our system does also have support for chatbots, like I mentioned. These are bots that can guide users through questions or topics and give automated responses. And these kind of work like those automation trees that we were looking at before for email marketing. So here's an example of a tree that we've set up for one of our example bots. And it can identify different questions and go down these different paths needed to provide an answer. These bots can be extremely useful for answering common questions after hours. And if the bot is unable to answer maybe a more complex question, it can at the very end lead back to your contact us form during off hours, or if it is during work hours, it could even transfer to a live agent. Here we can see what it looks like to create a response for the bot. We can easily set in how we want the bot to respond to different topics and situations. And this one here is demonstrating a welcome message. As with the rest of tools I covered today, chat and chatbots have a lot of versatility and options in how you set things up. So it's important to tailor these tools so that they work best for your institution. That covers everything I wanted to discuss for those looking to create a website with exceptional tools and services. I hope this helps if you are interested in finding out more about the types of systems that we recommend when making changes and updates and just managing your site. I know all of these tools have a lot of moving parts, which can be very difficult to demonstrate all within one webinar. But if you find yourself interested in anything I presented, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're constantly doing demos for all of these tools that I showed today, and we would love to set up a meeting and dive deeper into them. That way, you can get some one-on-one time to slow us down and ask us questions about the specifics of the tools that you're interested in, and to make sure that it meets your goals. And we'll give advice and what we think on how it might best meet your goal, or if we know another solution, we'll offer that as well. But as always, we here at LKCS are ready to help you with any new projects that you may have in mind. So please get in contact with me or any of our sales reps to get started. Thanks so much for attending the webinar. Again, my name's Tom Quessy, and I'm the head of digital sales here at LKCS. If anybody has any questions, I'm going to stay on the line for the next few minutes to answer anything that comes through the chat. So thank you again for attending, and we hope to see you at our next webinar.